Right then, I'm back in St. John's. I was hoping to vlog outside today, but it's a bit windy. Makes things a little bit difficult on the audio side of things. Before leaving Kathmandu, I decided that I was going to go out and get a haircut. And there's a bit of a story there, which I thought I would share with you, just as an act of solidarity with David of Vlog Side Up. I'll link to Vlog Side Up in the doobly-doo, and also this is David's story up here, which I found really funny. Anyhow, my last day in Kathmandu, I thought, hey, I should really get a haircut before going back to Canada, just to kind of feel better about myself, and so that my friends and family will recognize me. Eventually I found a barbershop, and I walked in, and for whatever reason I said, I want a 200 rupee haircut. Of course, as I mentioned, this was my first time in a Nepali barbershop, and I wanted to look like I belonged, so my strategy going in was to look bored with the proceedings. So I sat down in the chair, and he started to cut. If he asked me a question, which thank God he really didn't ask that many questions, I'd, give him a head shake or shrug. And that kind of served me well. Now I should mention, I sat down in the chair at about 4:15. I had to meet my friends for supper at about 5:30, so I thought, half hour for a haircut, go back to the hotel, get changed, and meet them at the restaurant. Seemed like a decent plan, so yeah, he cut my hair, he shaved me, and it was fine. And, things were winding to a close, I thought. And so he pointed at the beard, and then he pointed to a razor, and I kind of thought, yeah, sure, why not? And I tried to communicate, just take a little bit. But evidently what he got was just leave a little bit, which is how we got to what you see before you now. But I just tried to play it cool. I mean, it's just hair. So off it went, and I sat there and I thought, well, could be a lot worse. But, of course, because I was playing it cool, when he started to do more stuff, I just kind of sat there. Put cream on my face and on my forehead, brought me over the sink, and he stuck my head in the sink, and he washed my hair. More cream on my face, and it just kept going and going and going, and I thought for sure it would end soon. But it didn't. As he was doing all this, I just kind of turned my head, and I was watching a cricket game up in the corner. I've never watched a game of cricket in my life, but I was watching this one as if it was, my regular Monday afternoon. He kept going, he kept going, and he kept going, and eventually he took out this tub of like shiny sort of cream, and I thought, that's Vaseline. So I started putting it all over my face, and I knew that men sometimes do that after a shave. They put Vaseline on. I'm not quite sure why. Then he left me for about 5 minutes, and he said, stay there. And I was looking into the mirror, and my face was still shiny, and 5 minutes later I figured out why. It was because he put a face mask on me, and he pulled it off, and again, I was just kind of like, this is really weird, but playing it bored. Then he started to pound me in the head, and it turns out this is the massage part of things. So he bop, 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 and he kind of hit me in the sides of the head, and it was just this surreal experience. By the end of it, he wasn't even working on my head anymore. He'd grab my hand and twist it behind me, and then like pop all of these joints, and then he'd go and do the other arm, kneading my back with his elbows, and it was, wow. An hour and a half after sitting in the chair, I was ready to go. So I grabbed my jacket and I pulled out my wallet. And while I was in the chair and all of these things were happening, I kept thinking to myself, 200 rupees is not enough for all of this, is it? This is a lot for 200 rupees. Like, 200 rupees is only $3. But I asked him for a 200 rupee haircut, and he's just kept going and going and going. So I assumed this must be the 200 rupee haircut. And then he, of course, pulled out his hand and he said, 600 rupees. So anyways, I argued with him a little bit. I ended up giving him like 550 or something very, very near his asking price, just out of guilt. But that was my haircut experience, and it was just a really weird sort of thing. It doesn't make much of a great story. It just kind of starts normal and gets weirder and weirder and weirder as the haircut goes on. If you want a much funnier story, like I said, you've got the Vlog Side Up video, David's story about pretending to be blind. Now, not because he's a jerk, it was part of his job, actually, just watch it, it's funny. To sum up, I am back in St. John's, it's very windy today, I am excited to be home, I miss Kathmandu, I got a haircut, and what else? Oh, and I guess look what's almost literally right next door to my house. Alright, I'm gone then. I'll be back on Friday. So I sat there